All right, so like we do every single week, we are back with another full guide video for the brand new Lost Jungle update. Now, in this video, we're going to pretty much break down everything that's sort of like important and you could easily get lost with for this update. Most of that being obviously the temple, as well as how to get started with the brand new Wind Elemental Rod quest, because a lot of people are sort of having troubles finding that NPC. So I'll show you guys exactly where that is closer to the end of this video. Now, I don't want to waste any more time. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and remember, we do this every single week. With that being said, here we are in the Lost Jungle right now. And if you were in my stream, you probably know this is going to be a little bit of a tedious task to complete some of these temple rooms, but I promise I'm going to help you guys as best as I can to make your life 1,000 times easier than it was for us. With that being said, as I was saying before, we just went ahead and jumped onto the shore here where the Lost Jungle is. On the left-hand side, you're going to find yourself the little village with the merchant. If we go ahead and keep climbing this way and we climb up over here, you'll notice that you are right next to the entrance of the temple. It's sort of like a hole in the ground, so just be careful. Speaking of which, I just found one of the brand new baits, and these are pretty hard to get unless you have an auto clicker. So make sure that you have your auto clicker ready if you're trying to get one of these. They're sort of like little random things that are around, stag beetles, dragonflies, and stuff like that. But anyways, back on topic here. Here we have ourselves the entrance to the temple. If we go ahead and drop down here, you're going to find a rope that lets you inside of the temple. Once you've entered inside of here, there's going to be two important things. For one, talk to the jungle adventurer because she will go ahead and hand you the temple eye. This is extremely important because you're probably going to die multiple times throughout this entire journey, and this is going to be a huge game changer for you to be able to teleport right back over here. Now, across from the jungle adventurer, you're going to find a map that is extremely important to pretty much traverse through this entire area. Now, the catch is, though, is that this map doesn't really tell you too much information besides the X's, which is basically all of the spots for the individual puzzles that you need to complete. So on the screen right now, I have everything sort of detailed for you guys. I do want to give a huge shout out to Question Everything for making this map right here. But basically, if you notice right down here, this is the location where you are standing right now if you're next to the map. So use this as a reference point to be able to go ahead and go to every single one of the puzzles in their specific order. Obviously, we're going to be starting off over here at number 1, so let's make our way over there right now. I'll let you guys follow along with me for this first room so that way you can kind of understand how the map works. But again, here we are looking at the map sort of in this direction here is kind of how the map works. So we are standing right over here. We need to make our way over to this side, which is room number 1. So according to this, we're going to go down this hallway, and then we're going to go ahead and make a left, and then we're going to make a right and another right, and we're there. So let's go ahead and do exactly that. We're going to go down this hallway, make ourselves a left, and then keep going straight down and make ourselves a right, then another right over here. And if you notice on the floor, we are now at room number 1. Now for this room and a couple of the other rooms, you can sort of just like jump up here on the edges and then use a glider to get all the way across without having to worry about doing any of these obstacles. Once you get here, you sort of just walk up to this and you're going to be given the rune that you need. Now in the event that you don't want to do that, or maybe you're struggling a little bit with climbing up on the wall to glide all the way to the end, the pattern here is rather simple. Go ahead and follow along with me. It's going to be triangle, square, square, then triangle again, then circle, then triangle again. Then we're going to go square and triangle, circle to the end. That's pretty much the entire pattern right there. As I mentioned before, once you've gone ahead and done that, you've pretty much completed the first room. You'll have the first rune inside of your inventory, and we can now move on to room number 2. Now, right over here is room 1. If we're using our map as a reference point, then we're going to go ahead and walk up to this 4-way. We're going to make ourselves a right-hand turn, and then another right. Keep going straight down. Here, we're going to make ourselves a left. And then once we get to this point, we're going to make ourselves another left, then make a right, and another left once you get to the end of the hallway. And finally, the room number 2 will be right over here, sort of in like the middle of the hallway. You'll find it right here. It'll have the number 2 right above it. Just go ahead and walk up to this door and pretty much just stand here for a couple of seconds and the door will go ahead and open up for you. This one, there's really nothing I can tell you that'll help you. The best way I can break it down, it is an obby that you basically have to go up, and progressively there is water that is going to rise up to the top. So you go ahead and travel up this obby all the way till the very top. And then once you make it to the top, you're going to climb up right here and get your final rune. There's really nothing I can tell you to help you in this situation. You sort of just have to be good at obbies. Or you can be like me and die about 30 times until you finally make it to the top. Now, we've gone ahead and exited the second room. We're going to go ahead and make a right-hand turn. From here, we're going to make a left-hand turn and go straight down. In the process, we're going to pass right in front of room number 4, but instead we're going to keep going straight down, and then we're going to make a left-hand turn here. And now you will be at room number 3 that it says it here on the floor. Same concept goes for this one. There's not really much I can tell you to help you. It is a maze. My best tip that I can give you is to sort of travel through here sideways. The idea is that you don't want to hit any of these spikes, because if you do, they will unfortunately take you out. Personally, I took the right path when I did this, and eventually you will make it to the very end here where you will grab yourself your final rune. Nothing really crazy happens inside of here. You can take your sweet time inside of the maze. The whole premise is that you want to make sure that you don't hit those spikes. The way I did it is you make your way inside, and then you go ahead and make your first right, then make your first left, then make another right and sort of follow along this path, then make a left, keep going all the way down, make another left, then make a right, then a left, keep going straight down, and then make a left-hand turn and make a right-hand turn and another right and another left and a right, and then you're here. Sort of just, I don't know, follow along with that as best as you can. It's kind of hard. I don't exactly have a map written out for this, but if you follow all those lefts and rights, you'll definitely make it here. Now we're on our way to room number 4, so we're going to backtrack a little bit. Let's go ahead and make a left-hand turn. We passed this before, so let's just travel right back over here to room number 4. For this one, it is quite simple. When you first make your way in here, on the walls, there is going to be different moons in different phases. If you were in my live stream, you know that I failed this about 30,000 times, and the reason is because if you're not paying attention, you won't know exactly when you're done with this. But either way, if you want to do this the legit way, you can go ahead and use a sundial. You want to make sure that it is nighttime. And what you're going to notice is that on these vines, basically right under them, there's going to be different moons that correspond with the moons on the wall. So you'll see it spawn right there, right over there, and right back there, and another one over there in the corner. Again, if you want to do this the legit way, just follow how it is on the wall, and you'll accomplish it. To those of you that want a cheat code, here's a map and the exact order that you need to do this. A big shout out to Nugget for supplying this. So if you notice on the bottom left, you've got yourself the full moon, then over here, the crescent moon, the half moon, the other crescent moon, I guess, I don't know, and then the full moon back over there. Do it in this exact same order and you will successfully complete this room. As sort of a reference point, the image was taken basically right there is the entrance. If I go ahead and zoom my camera out, this is how the picture was taken. So just sort of remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll know that you're done because this image right here that was supplied by Tiny will pop up in the center of the room. It's basically the rune for this room. I know it's a lot of runes and rooms, but yeah, as soon as you see that drop down, which is actually right up there, you'll be able to go ahead and grab it and move on to room number 5. Now from here, we've got quite the ways to travel, but here we are exiting out of room number 4. And just to sort of show you guys a bit of a reference point, because you're probably going to fail this last room a lot of times if you do it the legit way. Here we have the temple eye, which I'm going to show you guys where that's going to spawn you. It's actually right in front of the 4th room, and it's technically the final area where you're going to go to. So right over here is where the temple eye is pretty much always going to teleport you to. So to get back to the 5th room, you just come right over here to the 4th room and make a right-hand turn. Or if you're walking out of the 4th room, then you make a left-hand turn. Keep walking all the way down to the very end. Once here, go ahead and make a right-hand turn. You will be passing right in front of room number 2. Then at the end, make another right, and then you're going to make a left at the end of that little short hallway. And right in front of you is going to be room number 5. So here is the kicker with this room. In theory, if you have the gravity coil, you could technically glider all the way to the very end. There's also a couple of different spots that you can climb up on. Like, for example, if you come outside of room number 5, there's these pillars on the sides that are sort of slanted. If you get on there and then jump across with the actual glider, you'll eventually land right on top of an invisible barrier. This will allow you to pretty much glide all the way to the end so you can get the rune. But of course, if you are planning to do this the legitimate way, then this is sort of how it works. On the rooftop, there is a pattern that needs to be followed. So basically, the way that I did this was by looking up and pretty much just following along with the pattern. That is literally the best tip that I can give you. Use sort of like your mouse cursor as kind of like a waypoint, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of difficult to do. I'm not going to lie. I got it first try, but honestly, I feel like I got insanely lucky. But yeah, this is basically what you need to do for this portion right here. And you got to make it all the way to the very end. It takes quite some time. As you can see, it's a pretty intricate path, lots of turns, and it can go south really, really quick. Once you've completed that, you should have every single one of the 5 runes that are required to go ahead and unlock the Moss Jaw room. So from here, we're going straight out the door, and we're going to keep going straight back to basically the 4th room, so we can now place down all of the runes. So just keep walking down. You'll pass right in front of room number 2, make a left-hand turn, and then keep going straight down basically until you make it right in front of room number 4. As soon as you're here, instead of continuing to go straight, we're going to make a left-hand turn and then another left. And here, there should be a pretty much like giant lock here on the door with all of these pedestals all around here. Now, some of these are fairly obvious. Like, for example, this one is obviously the water rune. You just hold the water rune in your hand, place it here. This one over here is the toxic rune. This one is a spiked rune. There's no punishment for getting it wrong, so you can just hold the rune and click on all of these pedestals. You'll eventually get them all in. This door will open, and now you are officially in the Moss Jaw room. This works the same exact way as every single one of the other sort of like fish spawns, like for example, the Scylla or the Kraken. When you get that notification that a Moss Jaw is spawned, you come to this room, fish it up, and you will get your hands on one of the Moss Jaws. There is 2 different versions that you can get inside of here. Either the regular Moss Jaw or the secret Elder Moss Jaw. In case you're interested, both of these preferred bait is glowworm, so keep that in mind. But yeah, that pretty much does it for inside of the Forgotten Temple. Now we're going to move on over to the Northern Expedition to show you guys where you're going to be able to get started with the Wind Elemental Rod quest. Now keep in mind, you will unfortunately need to have gotten to the very top, or you need to get to the very top of Northern Expedition in order to even start this quest. Once you're up here, go ahead and travel to the backside of where the crystals are, and you will find the NPC right up here. So sort of climb all these ladders over here, jump up here, climb this ladder, and you will find the Wind Master. Talk to him. He's going to basically send you on this quest right here, which is quest number 1. And that's pretty much it. At the end of it all, you'll receive the Wind Elemental Rod, which has received somewhat of a nerf, but it is still a very good rod. Now, there is 3 other things. We've made our way over here to Ancient Isles, specifically the Ancient Archives. And that's because inside of here, there is 3 brand new craftable rods that you can get. These will absolutely be a bit of a challenge. We have ourselves the Elder Moss Ripper, the Toxic Spire Rod, and the Vine Weaver Rod. Honestly, the Toxic Spire Rod as well as the Vine Weaver Rod are pretty much super straightforward on how to get them. The Elder Moss Ripper is probably going to be the one that's the biggest pain, and primarily it's because you need a shrouded golden sea pearl. As of the time that I'm recording this, I have no clue on how to get this. I think shrouded just randomly happens, honestly, because the only way that I am aware of being able to get shrouded is with the actual Elder Moss Ripper. If you notice, it says there's a 20% rate for shrouded. Obviously, once I get more information on this and I'm able to get my hands on it, I'll do a follow-up video with showcasing all 3 of the rods. Primarily, the main focus for this video was to get you guys through the entire temple and to get you started on that Wind Elemental quest. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.